Hi guys, today is the 24th of January 2020. It's 29 minutes past 7 in the evening over here in the UK. And I was on Twitter earlier today and I saw this calendar someone posted to do with like court cases around Donald Trump, like Harvey Weinstein, Mike Pompeo, information, just basically information and, legal battles related to Donald Trump, whether that's in his defense or in opposition. But one was very interesting. It comes at the end of this month on the 31st of January. It's the New York Supreme Court requiring Donald Trump to participate in a deposition in his case with Summer Zervos. I had to do a little bit of research because I didn't know who Summer Zervos was, and found out that she was a contestant on The Apprentice, and she's accused Donald Trump of sexually assaulting her, and this was back in 2007, so way before he was running for president. There was obviously contact. She's told lawyers and Fox News about it in 2011 and 2015, so again before 2016. And obviously Donald Trump accused her of lying, so she put a case in for defamation, and now Donald Trump has to participate in a deposition on the 31st of January. And obviously when I was thinking about that, that obviously brought to mind the image that I've been referring to in association with cult and urination rumors, and that potentially being connected with Donald Trump. And obviously one of the numbers that jump out at you when you just look at it without breaking anything down is the number 31. And from the video I posted yesterday, there's the interpretation for February the 1st, which is obviously the next day. So I was thinking, with the 31 jumping out at you without any interpretation, and then February the 1st coming with a bit more interpretation, and then also February the 3rd being another one that jumps out at you, it kind of gives you a close date range, all connected with one image. So I'm thinking maybe the deposition is done on the 31st of January. Well, not maybe, that will happen. But then maybe the information in that deposition gets out the next day. Obviously it goes through court processing, and I don't know whether it will be publicly available, but if it is, then it will be posted, and obviously the news media will pick it up. And if it has anything to do with salacious activities, that will be all over the news. And obviously with the impeachment going on, that could set the house on fire. And when you think about that, I'm going to go to the 13th of January because that's the same interpretation for the 31st, or the interpretations for the number 31. And you can see here you've got the excuse me, missile slash penis in there, and that could obviously be deposition related. But then remember, you've got the February 1st connection in there as well, and then you've got the house on fire, where you've also got the potential 31 reference. And as I said, with the impeachment going on, could be stuff happening. But along with that, there's also the possibility of activities unfolding in the Middle East. Obviously, if all of this stuff is coming out, then potentially Donald Trump may do something to distract from that, or something may happen, coincidentally, air quotes, that distracts from that, and that could have everything to do with Iran, or Pakistan or Afghanistan. The reason I say that obviously is because from the iPad Goat 2 video, that scene that I was just showing you there, let me flip this the right way around, is with the number 31 in the clouds or the smoke or the tsunami wave that we have here. And again, if things are happening in the courts that are revealing information that is embarrassing, we could have things unfolding in the Middle East as a consequence of that. And when I did a bit more, actually I already knew this, but when I thought about this whole thing, I remembered that there is an agreement going on at the moment, or potentially an agreement going on with the Taliban and the United States. And obviously the Taliban connected with Osama bin Laden, and there we saw him in the scene just previously, and this is a Taliban peace deal that they're trying to negotiate, and obviously they're expecting that at the end of the month. That's on the 31st, and obviously not to mention the 31st obviously brings us to Brexit. The withdrawal deal has been signed and Boris Johnson has got the ascension from the Queen, so the United Kingdom will be leaving the European Union, not Europe, on the 31st of January, and obviously there'll be a transitional period where we discuss trade and security and other things like that, but obviously it's very significant, and I believe that is linked to why Harry and Meghan have left the royal family and essentially the United Kingdom, moving to Canada or wherever they end up after that. That's obviously another significant event. It puts Harry and Meghan in another location kind of permanently. And as I say, if events like I've interpreted from various different things from the iPad Go 2 video unfold in the UK and it ends up that a large portion, if not all, of the royal family is affected, then Prince Harry and Meghan are safely tucked away in another country and could easily come back. In a situation like that, the British public would accept him as king. He's still a member of the royal family, and coincidentally the Queen allowed him to retain his title of prince. So again, if anything were to happen to the royal family, they've got a little token tucked away to the side. Apart from that, there's a lot. Sorry about that, ran out of space. Apart from that, there's a lot of other things going on. So obviously I talked about the coronavirus and how that allows China to lock down all of China, but especially Hong Kong, where the protests have been going on for over a year. Just within the last couple of hours, cases have been confirmed in Hong Kong, and obviously with the Chinese New Year going on there, Beijing has cancelled the New Year. Apparently, well, they can't cancel the New Year, but they've cancelled New Year celebrations. I suspect that Hong Kong protesters and people in Hong Kong will want to or may continue with those celebrations, in which case China may send in the army under the guise of trying to contain this virus, but obviously it helps them also to quell the protests that have been going on for a year. And obviously that's something else we've seen in the iPad Go 2 video with the tanks and everything else. Not just that, but we've also got the doomsday clock just on the 23rd of January being moved forward 20 seconds. Now we're 100 seconds from midnight. Again, it's just another significant event. Obviously 100 putting us in that nice rounded position, and it again brings to mind, obviously if you take out the zeros and you include midnight, you've got 112, which again could be translated to 22, which is February the 2nd. You've got the Super Bowl. I think the Iowa caucuses are on that day as well. I'm not sure if I'm wrong, please correct me in the comments. But there's a lot going on and it's all coming together. If it wasn't for all the research that I've been doing over the last couple of years, it might seem overwhelming. But obviously you've got the bushfires still going on in Australia. No need to switch to the iPad Go 2 video for the references to fires and potentially this having a connection with that. Still looking out for that earthquake around that region, perhaps in the Indian Ocean, perhaps closer to the Pacific Ocean and to Australia. The tsunami potentially affecting Australia. Again, you could see that as good and bad, take out the fires, but also has the potential to end a lot of lives as well. Impeachment, as I said, that's still going on with the deposition of Donald Trump in this sexual accusation case. We could see that house on fire, metaphorical house on fire situation come up in the next couple of days, depending upon what is said. Again, more information is coming out that just makes Donald Trump look like a mafia boss, and um, the way he talks and things that are being, I think this is being taken out of context to take her out a bit, but you know, that language is still very eye popping to a lot of people, and especially, you know, during this time, you don't want things like this coming out, but here they are coming out, making things worse. Excuse me. Even more reason that situations may unfold in Iran or in the Middle East is this new report coming from the Pentagon saying that 34 soldiers suffered traumatic brain injury in the Iran strike. Remember, it was just 11, and I was looking out for it to become 12, and now it's become 34. So that's a much bigger number. As of yet, Donald Trump has been downplaying the injuries, calling them headaches, but I believe that was when the number was around 11. I'm not sure if he's aware of the higher number of 34, but this again may put pressure on him to do something in association with Iran, or it may not put pressure on him to do it. He may just do it because of everything going on with impeachment, and especially if it does happen on the 31st. As I say, there's the whole deposition thing taking place on that day. The very next day, the information could be all over the media, setting the house on fire and all sorts of things. So there's lots to watch out for. Finally, the last report I've got here is North Korea has appointed a new hardline ex-army officer as its new foreign minister. This just suggests that nuclear talks are really over with the United States. And again, tonight is the new year, so with North Korea, you know, threatening to conduct SLBM, ICBM, or nuclear tests at the end of the year, referring to last year, it could be that they're referring to the end of the year of the pig, the calendar they use, obviously, which is tonight, going into tomorrow. So watching out for potential nuclear ICBM, SLBM test or launch from North Korea in association with their new year. I think that's everything I wanted to discuss. I talked about potentially watching out for an event with Donald Trump tomorrow, but considering we've got the deposition next week where the information may be revealed, I feel like the number 25 may more closely link to February the 5th, which is the other date that I put on watch for this event. Obviously there is one more incorporating 1, 1 and 5, which is on the Julian calendar, which is going to occur on the 28th of January. So that's just in a couple of days. So after tomorrow, the 25th, I'll be keeping an eye out for that same event if it doesn't unfold on the 28th, and then again on the 5th of February. On the 5th of February, that'll be the last. Sorry, that is not the last one. February the 7th is the last one, and that's because, just double checking why. Yes, that's because it is 1:25 on the lunar calendar. Again, it's just that 25 or 115 seems to be connected just from the eyebrow that I've seen there, and also from the George Bush hair. It may or may not mean anything, but you know, that's what I've connected it to, so that's what I'm looking out for. Apart from that, the 31st of January is going to be interesting with all the events that are already planned to go on. You guys have a good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and may the Heavenly Father bless you.